Great news! There's a quick way you can save money. Switch to Geico. Geico could help you get great coverage at a great price, and it only takes 15 minutes to see if you could save 15% or more on car insurance. Go to geico.com today and see how much you could save.
Trying to get your Monday morning off to a nice, easy flow. Glad you're with us. Golic and Wingo on ESPN Radio and ESPN2, presented by Progressive Insurance. All phone guests join us on the Shell Pennzoil Performance Line. Mike Golic, Trey Wingo here with you. Good morning.
Good morning.
How was your weekend?
The weekend, it was somewhat of a relaxing weekend because from now on,
that's not going to happen.
The relaxing weekends, though in a good way, are over. As we start college football, the NFL getting ready to go. So it, as we know here at ESPN, once football gets going, and I know it's been going for a couple of weeks now with the preseason and getting ready for college ball, it's ready to go.
Yeah, that's that time of year. So everybody, I usually put this tweet out at the end of the summer, right around the Labor Day weekend, specifically regarding to football. I say, dear significant others, whatever you need your significant other to do, get it done this weekend.
Yeah, exactly.
Because after this, probably not going to be very productive on Saturdays and Sundays.
We're going to see in February is what we're going to do.
Exactly. See you in 24 weeks.
How was your weekend?
It was really good. Went up to a little town in Connecticut called Stonington, right on the water with some friends of ours. Played a little golf. I was hoping to see you on the golf course. Did not see you.
You did not see me, and you probably won't see me.
Yeah, so we'll keep trying.
Kind of how it works.
We'll keep trying.
I guess before there's a ton to get into.
There is.
As we were just chatting horrifically about before the show. I mean, we'd be remiss to not start with our thoughts and prayers out to the families of the people that were killed who would have? I mean, you want to talk about one of the most bizarre headlines. A shooting at the Madden 19 event. I mean, you're video gaming a tournament down in Jacksonville, and someone there went on a mass shooting spree, and 2 people were dead, and then also the suspect himself had a self-inflicted wound. 11 victims are in stable condition. 9 were taken there by ambulance. A couple drove themselves. More people that were shot and that are recovering. I mean, that was just one of the more stunning headlines. I guess nothing's too stunning anymore.
No, that's the worst part about it.
In a bad way, but that one did. I mean, I couldn't believe it. Obviously, statements from EA Sports and Shad Khan or Jacksonville has happened, as I said, down in Jacksonville, right in the area we were down there when the Super Bowl was down there.
Super Bowl 39.
Just a horrible, horrible situation at this gaming tournament where this person just starts shooting. So again, thoughts and families, especially for the 2 that were killed. Again, the suspect then became a third one that died and turned the gun on himself. But the 2 that were killed in just nonsensical, just ridiculous, and then all of us that were injured as well. That our thoughts are certainly with them as much as can be.
Yeah, look, I've done a lot of work with EA and the Madden game over the years. So as soon as I saw that, I just texted a bunch of people that I knew, and thankfully everybody was okay. And but just the last thing you would think that was going to happen.
That's exactly right. I mean, you want to talk about things that so many things that you say, my God, that just doesn't make sense. And this certainly falls into that category. And unfortunately, people's lives change forever in this one. And it's just a shame. It's just a shame. So again, all we can do is offer our thoughts and prayers.
And again, we will continue to monitor that, but we'll also just say, you know what? Let's hope that from people that maybe shook up by that. That's where sports sometimes can be a great escape for them and get back into some things that they'd rather be thinking about than that. So we will do that here on Golic and Wingo on a Monday morning. We'll start with what's trending, and is it possible? Is it possible, Mike, that the Red Sox, all this time we're talking about them running away with all these records, the lead is down to 6 in the AL East. Luke Voit 3 for 3 with a 2-run homer to help Luis Severino earn his major league leading 17th win. And the Yankees beat the Orioles 5-3 on Sunday Night Baseball. By the way, they're going for the 4-game sweep tonight on ESPN and on ESPN Radio. The Yankees are only down by 6 in the AL East now.
Remember, it was 9.5? We're like, it's over whenever there was a run.
It's still kind of over.
I think it is as well, but it's making it at least a little more fun to talk about.
Yep.
Boston has lost 6 of their last 8 right in that area there. They have not been playing well. Chris Sale, with that shoulder, how is that going to be by the time the playoffs roll around? So, listen, you don't think they're going to catch him. I don't think they're going to catch him. But just for fun.
Make them think about it.
Looking at the rest of the schedule, as far as other playoff teams that they both play, the Yankees play 3 at Oakland still this year, and then they had the 6 against Boston.
Wait, did you say they have 6 against Boston?
6 against Boston.
And what's the lead?
6. Now the last time these three played in a series, Boston swept them. So
Correct.
That's why we don't think it's going to happen. But for Boston's side of it, outside of the 6th with the Yankees, and oh by the way, those last 3 are in Boston. Boston also plays 3 at Atlanta, 3 home to Houston.
Yep.
And 3 at Cleveland.
Yep.
Cleveland took the first 2 games of their series. I think it was, last week or whatever? Yeah, last week. So
Cleveland handled their business.
Boston's
against the Red
got
Sox.
some tough teams coming up, and they're not playing their best. So I just bring that up of making it a little more interesting. So you're saying there's a chance.
Exactly.
But listen, 6 games back by my math, even you can do this math, is better than 9.5 games back.
By 3.5 games.
The Yankees are trending in the right direction, but I think we both think Boston is going to hang on, and the Yankees will be playing either Houston or the A's, whichever team ends up being the other wild card.
I can't believe you brought up math.
It was my understanding that there would be no math.
This was easy math.
It doesn't matter.
6 games back is better than 9.5 back, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't like math.
I'm trying to spoon feed you.
Oh, like a baby?
There you go.
Well, congratulations.
Oh, no.
Because today is the 9-month anniversary of this show. Mike, we have made a baby.
Don't ever say that. Thank you.
Hold on. Congratulations. It's been 9 months.
Are you one of those that celebrated along when you were dating your wife? Hey, we've been dating for 3 months.
No.
We've been dating for 4.5 months.
No.
We've been dating for 63 days.
No.
Okay.
No. But
Then
anyway,
why did you bring this up?
Happy baby day. As long as you know that. Congratulations. Speaking of baseball, Kendrys Morales swatted his way to the brink of baseball history Sunday. By the way, swatted is a term we don't use enough.
No, that's true.
Swatted.
You swat flies, don't you?
Yes. Well, Babe Ruth back in the day was the Sultan of SWAT. Mm-hmm. SWAT sounds like blather or balderdash.
It does. You're right.
It does. Or poppycock. He swatted away to the brink of baseball history. The Blue Jays slugger homered in a franchise record 7th consecutive game in Toronto's 8-3 loss to the Phillies.
He's the 7th player to do that now. As far as he's one short of the record, which has 3 people involved in that: Dale Long, Ken Griffey Jr., and Don Mattingly.
Yeah, baby.
So that's what Morales is trying to go for. That's what you start to look for most teams now, is the individual things, because as a team, they're sitting there at 60 and 70, 29 games out of first place. So there's nothing else to really talk about for them. But let's see if he can get it. Let's see if he can get number 8 and get in that group and make it a group of 4 that have gone 8 in a row.
It's interesting. I must say, and Brett will chime in, I'm sure, at some point. I don't know a ton about Dale Long or the Pirates.
Yeah.
But I know that Don Mattingly was a really good player.
Yeah.
And Ken Griffey Jr. was a really good player.
Yes, he was.
So that's pretty good company to be in. Brett, do your research. I want all the Dale Long. We had Henry.
Let's break down Dale Long.
We had
Henry Hooper.
We had Henry Hooper.
Hoops.
We had Harry Hooper Day.
Harry Hooper, right?
So let's get this all about Dale Long. I want more Dale Long than we could possibly ever imagine.
Hoops was born in 1879 or something like that. So Dale was born, a little bit later than that.
Yes. Hooper, by the way.
Hooper.
Kendrys Morales has been in the zone this week. In the Zone, brought to you by AutoZone. Get in the zone. AutoZone. You know who else was in the zone?
Oh, boy.
Bryson DeChambeau. Cruised to a 4-stroke win at the Northern Trust, the first leg of the FedEx Cup playoffs on the PGA Tour. DeChambeau now sits atop the FedEx standings, but his mind was also on impressing U.S. Ryder Cup captain Jim Furyk. Jimmy! Furzy! Jimbo!
Jimmy!
DeChambeau narrowly missed earning one of the 8 automatic berths for the U.S. team when he missed the cut at the PGA Championship. Jim Furyk will make 3 of his 4 captain's picks a week from Tuesday.
So I'm going to ask you a question in a second about this, but DeChambeau really did this on Saturday when he fired a 63,
Absolutely.
Put himself in that last. Keegan Bradley shot a 62, by the way, to put himself in the final group. And then Keegan Bradley went on to shoot a 78 yesterday.
Bad.
Where DeChambeau shot a 69. So
16 strokes differently from one day to the next.
Is exactly right. So he had the 4-stroke lead. He held on to that 4-stroke lead. Tony Finau shoots a 68, jumps up. He ends up in second place in here. Tiger Woods shoots a 1 under, 70 in this one. It was
couldn't putt.
The drive in the PGA and couldn't putt here. So let me ask you, we know the 8 that are locks for the Ryder Cup.
Yep.
Who are the other 4 in your mind that you think it's over?
I think it's pretty much over.
Okay, who are they?
Well, DeChambeau is 9th. He wins, and he's in.
He's going to be in.
By the way,
24-year-old.
To that point, This was DeChambeau on SportsCenter last night talking about not only win, but this little thing called the Ryder Cup.
I feel really good, but at the same point in time, I got to go play well next week. We still got one more week before he announces some picks, and I got to go play well. That's all I can say.
All right, where's your confidence level about making that team?
my confidence level, well, I don't want to give away too much, but it's pretty darn high. Definitely, in the upper 80% probably, but you never know.
Wow, he went with a number.
Well, that's who he is. I mean, DeChambeau was a guy that tried to use the compass, not the protractor. But the compass to read the greens.
So he went a number.
He's all about the math.
He went high 80s.
Yeah, he's making.
So you think it's 100%?
I think he's. Look, he was ninth. So and the top 8 made it. He wins a FedEx Cup event.
Right.
He's in.
Okay, so he's in.
Yeah.
So we got 3 more.
10th place is Phil Mickelson. He's making the team.
He's in. He did pretty well in this. He ended up tied for 15th, 9 under.
11th place is Tiger Woods on the point standings. He's making the team.
Tiger's in.
So 12th is Xander Schauffele.
Okay.
Who's played pretty well this year.
You don't think he's in?
I don't think he's in.
Who do you think is in?
I think our guy is in. Tony Finau.
Tony Finau?
And by the way, Tony will join us next hour. We'll talk to him, and we'll try and get him out of here.
Let's see if we can get a number out of him.
Yeah, exactly.
Like DeChambeau went upper 80%.
Look, Tony Finau is a birdie machine.
Where is he in the standings?
I think he's 15th.
15. I know he started the week at 15th. I don't know if he went up or not.
Well, they only do the points for the race to the top. Top 8.
All right.
So that's not going to change.
I was thinking FedEx. Okay,
exactly.
I had the FedEx and the Ryder Cup.
Finau is 15th right now. So again, stop it. I don't care. DeChambeau is 9th. He's making the team. Mickelson is 10th. He's making the team. Shut up, Stanzik. Tiger's 11th. He's making the team. Schauffele is 12th, and that you take 12.
So who's 12? Who's up in front of Finau?
Matt Kuchar is 13th. Now Kevin Kisner is interesting. He's 14th, and Kisner has played really well in a couple of majors, and he keeps the ball in play.
But we're going with Finau.
Look,
we're going with our guy.
In match play, if you can make birdies from anywhere, that's important. Because remember, in stroke play, it's like one bad hole and you could be out of the tournament. In match play, it doesn't matter. It's just one hole.
Right.
I can go back the next time, make a birdie or an eagle, and win it.
So let's Golic and Wingo. Let's put it in stone.
Yeah.
With the Ryder Cup team is set.
I think it's set. You can book it.
Book it.
I think we have booked the team. I think the 4 captains picks, and I don't know what order, are going to be DeChambeau, Mickelson, Tiger, and Tony Finau.
All right, there it is.
There
it's a
go.
Golic and Wingo Ryder Cup team.
There you go.
You can book it.
And we're going to congratulate Tony Finau.
Yes, we are.
Yes,
we are.
When he joins us at 7:00.
Oh, is he going to hate us if he doesn't?
Probably. Jimmy,
yeah,
Jimbo,
come on.
Fierzy, come on. So anyway, we've got it set, but officially it'll be announced later.
Right.
And by the way, speaking of majors, tennis's final major of the season begins today on ESPN with the U.S. Open. Serena Williams seeks her 24th major title to tie Margaret Court for the most all-time, while Roger Federer looks to break a tie with Pete Sampras and Jimmy Connors for the most U.S. Open titles in the Open era since 1968. But he hasn't won this thing since 2009. So, I mean, I think you're much more likely to maybe see a Novak Djokovic or maybe a Rafa Nadal, the defending champ.
And then on Serena's side, we keep saying, boy, if anybody's going to come back after having the baby, and reestablish, it's going to be her. And
more baby talk. More baby talk on the show today.
It hasn't gone quite that way. As far as the majors, even in regular tournaments when she got smoked in the first round of a tournament. So
worst loss of her career.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll see where she is right now.
And we'll have Marty Fish, one of our great ESPN tennis analysts, on with us a little later in the hour. Talk a little tennis and also talk about a big bar tab.
He was in a great situation.
He's the most interesting man in America. That's all he does is traipse around with other athletes and have great stories. So we'll get to all of that. But again, Golic and Wingo was presented by Progressive Insurance. Cars, homes, boats, motorcycles, RVs, and more at Progressive.com. Mike, we are very close to the real deal. The start of the NFL season, and it was the dress rehearsal in a lot of ways for the starters. And we had some updates on some rookie quarterbacks over the weekend. Some did well, some did not do well, and some didn't play at all.
Well, let's start with last night. In case anybody didn't know, there were actually 2 games yesterday. There was a game in the afternoon, 4:00 game, and then a night game, an 8:30 game that involved 2 rookie quarterbacks. We'll get the latest, the later one out of the way. Josh Rosen did not play in this game. He had a hurt finger, so he did not play, so nothing new there. Sam Bradford is going to be the starter, I believe, certainly when the season starts there with Rosen ready to come in. We'll see. Again, Mike Glennon is there as well. If those remember, Mike Glennon started a couple games in Chicago last year and then was a $16 million backup to Mitch Trubisky. The other rookie that played and had a chance, it does seem to be open there, is Josh Allen. The Bills played the Cincinnati Bengals. And, boy, what it's going to turn out for the Bills, Trey, is who can move the best, because their O-line is in trouble.
It isn't good.
Listen, they lost 2 big-time players. Eric Wood, when he was healthy, was one of the top centers. And then left guard, listen, we hope all is good with the going forward in life for Richie Incognito. But as far as a left guard, he had been playing pretty well. And he was a Pro Bowl level a couple years ago, maybe not so much last year, but still those two guys, the two guys in for them, are not at their level. So that's hurting in the interior of that line.
Get to my level.
Josh Allen, I mean, things did not go very well for Josh Allen. 6 of 12 for 34 yards, but he was sacked 5 times. There was somebody in his face the whole time, and this is when the starters were playing the starters. That's what you had to start looking at a little more this week, even though there were some teams that didn't play their starters. Nathan Peterman came in, and he looked sharp. He's looked sharp all preseason. He's making a great case to say, why not me, why not now? But again, he played against the second unit in this one. But it will be interesting. Who can move the best? Because that O-line is struggling right now. Yeah. They don't have a great running game, and that O-line is struggling some. So you may need a guy who can move and get out of there. Allen is a good athlete in moving around, but he does hold the ball a little bit. The big kid loves to stand in the pocket and fire it. When he gets on the move, he's a good athlete. But it's going to be a tough go. I mean, and then A.J. McCarron. Yeah. I mean, where he's coming off that shoulder injury, was only going to be an emergency quarterback yesterday, so he didn't play. They have some issues there on who to start because of the issues surrounding the quarterback on offense.
And remember, Josh Allen had to leave that game when his head got slammed into the turf for a while, and he did come back. Josh has a chance. I think he still has a chance to be the starter week 1, and here was Josh basically grading his performance after the game.
I didn't do a good enough job of getting the ball out on time and getting it to our playmakers, and holding on to the ball is not going to be too great most of the time. So I got to do a better job, but there's a lot to learn from, a lot to get better from. Obviously, it didn't play as well as I wanted to. There's some throws out there that I wish I had back, some plays out there that I wish I had back, but obviously it's the preseason. That's why we're playing these games, is to learn and grow and get better, and this is one of those games where we're going to go in and break down the film and get a lot better at, just because of the things that we had to endure and things that we saw, and this is going to help us out in the long run.
Josh, physically, how do you feel after taking that hard hit to your head there? I know you were cleared to return.
Oh, yeah.
How do you feel physically?
Hey, it's football. It's football. You got to love those hits. Sometimes getting those out of the way in the preseason it's not a fun thing, but it's good to get those over with. So definitely feel good.
And there's 11 hits and then maybe getting hit too much. What? Quite honestly, Trey, I'm not sure what you do here. The team, let's be honest, is not very good. Especially offensively.
It's funny we're saying this too, because Buffalo is like, wait a minute, we made the playoffs last year for the first time since the Paleozoic era. Yeah. And now everybody's basically saying, they're going to be terrible this year.
I do like their secondary on defense, but we're talking about the offensive side of the ball. So, I mean, do you start the young player in Allen, the one that most said wasn't going to be ready? And you watched him play. He had some nice passes, but then others that were just flat out off the mark, which has been the MO of him coming out of college. You play Peterman, who's looked the best in the preseason, or McCarron, who comes over from Cincinnati. I mean, I'm still not sure where you go if you just throw your hands up and say, let's just give the rookie some time here. Any quarterback that's in there, they're going to get hit, though. They're going to have to deal with a system, depending on the play calls out there and how quick you can get rid of the ball, they're going to get hit.
It's interesting. You and I, Mike, when the draft came and went in April, we both sort of were of the opinion that when push comes to shove, the quarterback in this draft that might have the most long-term success might be Josh Rosen.
Yeah.
And he's the one that has no chance to start week 1. Did he even play last week?
No, I said he didn't play. He had a finger. He hurt his finger, so he did not play.
He had a finger. Hopefully he has 10.
Yeah, he had a finger, so he did not play.
But, it's interesting. You always get caught up in who starts early and who does all of this, and sometimes it's the guy that sits for a little while, and he may end up having the best career out of all these guys.
Let's remember, you draft a guy for a decade, not for their rookie year.
Correct.
So, we'll see where it goes. A couple other quarterbacks to talk about, obviously Sam Darnold, Lamar Jackson as well, probably played his best preseason game, so certainly we have more to get into there, but at least the starting out, Rosen doesn't play in this one. And Josh Allen has a tough outing when he got to go against the starters. And I'm glad they did it, to give each one of those quarterbacks a start with the starting unit against the starting defense. And for Allen, didn't go all that well, but a lot of it wasn't his fault when he had all the pressure in his face.
No question. So, again, and at best, an uneven performance from Josh Allen, and we'll see what happens. I still think he has a really good chance to be the starting quarterback going forward week 1 for the Buffalo Bills.
I got questions for you about Lamar Jackson, Sam Darnold, so we got some questions out here.
The Lamar Jackson thing is becoming interesting, but I'm not sure it's anywhere near resolved. Coming up, Brett has some Dale Long facts for us.
Okay.
Of course he does. Plus, at least one rookie quarterback has started in week 1 of an NFL season in 10 straight seasons. Well, you can make it 11 and you can book it.
Remember when you couldn't order a ride at the press of a button? Or get online without hearing this? Or get Domino's delivered to over 150,000 unexpected outdoor locations? Wait, what? Introducing Domino's Hotspots. You can finally get pizza delivered right to the beach, the quad, or the dog park. Not at home? Not a problem. Find a Domino's hotspot near you and get 2 medium 2-topping pizzas delivered for $5.99 each. 2-item minimum. Handmade pan pizzas will be extra asked for this limited time offer. Prices, participation, delivery area, and charges may vary. Restrictions apply. Visit Domino's.com for details on Domino's Hotspots.
When it comes to hiring, you don't have time to waste. You need help getting to your short list of qualified candidates fast. That's why you need Indeed.com. Post a job in minutes, set up screener questions, then zero in on qualified candidates using an intuitive online dashboard. And when you need to hire fast, accelerate your results with sponsored jobs. New users can try for free at Indeed.com/podcast. That's Indeed.com/podcast. Terms, conditions, and quality standards apply.
All right, we continue on Golic and Wingo, ESPN Radio and ESPN2. We are presented by Progressive Insurance. All phone guests will join us on the Shell Pencil Performance line. So, again, we want to hear from you. You can get in touch with us, 1-800-Flowers.com, Twitter feed, at Golic and Wingo, or let us know, what did you see in Week 3 of the preseason, good or bad, 860-506-5505. And, as we do every Monday, who won the weekend? 860-506-5505. 5505.
I know what I saw this weekend that I liked more than others that we'll certainly get to without question. It had nothing to do with actual football play, but flags in pockets.
Ooh, yes.
Rather than on the field.
Something less than we had seen recently, which is much better.
Before we get to Darnold, another rookie quarterback who had his best outing of the preseason, and I think where Darnold and Lamar Jackson are we can talk about in the same breath is these are two teams that the thought process was, are you going to keep 3 quarterbacks or 2?
Right.
So we'll get to Darnold and the Jets. But the Baltimore Ravens into last week.
Well, let's do this because this is interesting. It's time for Straight Talk on this subject. Brought to you by Straight Talk Wireless. Best phones, best networks, no contracts. Continue.
So last week we were all saying, well, it looks like Baltimore, they haven't kept 3 quarterbacks, I believe, since 2009.
Was that Flacco's rookie year or second year in the league?
So it's been a while.
Second year.
Flacco, again, is the starter, but the thought was RG3 was playing pretty well. Lamar Jackson was struggling, no doubt about it. So the thought was, would they have to keep 3 quarterbacks? And they would keep 3 quarterbacks. So Lamar Jackson had his best game of the preseason. Now, again, it was against backups because Joe Flacco's the starter, but still, he was asked to go out and play, and he played as well as he's done this preseason, going 7 of 10 for 98 yards. And he had 137 yards of total offense. Ran for a touchdown is what he can be as a weapon running the ball, no doubt about it. But his passing was better than it's been this preseason. So it will be interesting. Does one game, now again, this is just games we see, as coaches will all tell you, and it is true, you have practices as well, because you have classroom work. How good are these young quarterbacks picking up things on the blackboard? What's their level of being able to transfer it onto the field and practical application as well? So you have practice to go through as well.
Correct.
But we see the games. So he has his best game, and you wonder, Lamar or Robert Griffin III, he was solid. He made his second start of the preseason. So he's been solid, no doubt about that. The question was going to be, how good is Lamar Jackson going to play, and are they going to be confident enough to say Joe Flacco's our starter, Lamar Jackson's our backup, and RG3 will be set free to go somewhere else? Do you think they're there?
I don't think they are. I'm not saying that they might get there by the time the season starts, but again, Lamar was so woefully inaccurate through the first. Remember, this was their 4th preseason game, so he's played 3. I think he was hitting, 41%?
41%.
Now, listen, this was a huge turnaround. I get that.
It was.
But it's just one game against the entire summer. I don't know if you're Coach Harbaugh, you can say at this point, yeah, we've seen enough to make sure that he's going to be the backup in this system.
So again, this is why I put into it. It's only what we see, not what the coaches see. Have they seen the progression on the practice field, in walkthroughs, in film, on the whiteboard? Have they seen the progression to where it was Lamar Jackson's best game that we saw, but as the coaching staff seen that same progression on the practice field and all the aspects of being a quarterback enough to trust Lamar Jackson? Because listen, if he ever gets in a game, Lamar Jackson at this point is still going to trust his legs more than his arm.
Right.
And I don't mean that in a negative way. His legs are the best thing about him right now. Okay. The same thing happened with Michael Vick. Trust your legs more than your arm and really more than your ability to throw the ball where it needs to be. So when push comes to shove, you're going to take off. Yeah. And you just need to learn to come out of that. And the more reps you get, the more you will hopefully learn to come out of that while still being able to be used as a weapon. I do think it's trending that way. There's one more game. It's against, oddly enough, RG3's former team, the Washington Redskins, their last preseason game, on that decision on what will happen, or whether they'll keep RG3 or not. I don't think it's in stone by any sense.
I think it's still very much a fluid situation.
I definitely think it's trending toward Lamar Jackson being the backup.
Well, here's what Lamar Jackson said after the game. Quote, "I hope people know I can throw now, even though I had a low percentage." This was to WBAL-TV. "But it's all good. We had fun, and we came out with the win."
I mean, to say I hope people know I can throw, no, Lamar, they don't. Yeah. I mean, they saw you do better in college, but they don't right now. So you've seen flashes. But the whole thing about the NFL and being a professional is consistency, availability, and consistency.
Correct.
So that's something we've seen flashes of you able to do that, but certainly not on a consistent enough basis to say, yeah, we trust this guy to even be the backup. But I do think it is trending that way. And then we get to the quarterback where I think it is fait accompli. It is Sam Darnold.
Ooh, look at you, fait accompli. Did Junior sneak in the studio
Well,
somewhere?
He leaves me texts every now and then. Try and work this word in. Here's what it means. But as far as we've had 10 straight seasons of a rookie quarterback starting week 1, it's going to be 11 because Sam Darnold is going to be the starter.
I think that's the one that you can book it. You can pretty much book that one, that Sam Darnold's going to be that guy. Thank you very much. Our own guy, who does a great job with us when he's on the show, Tim Hasselbeck, former quarterback in the NFL and a longtime analyst with us on NFL Live and here on Golic and Wingo, basically said he believes that it is going to be Sam Darnold's job.
I've seen a good quarterback, and I've seen one that probably has made a case to the coaching staff of the Jets that he gives them their best chance to win. So I think his understanding and command all preseason long, it was evident tonight, of protections and then also his ability to put the ball accurately where it needs to go has been really impressive.
The one thing you'll say that this was not a great performance by him.
No, wasn't at all.
And he went against the starter. So he started this game, so he's against a number 1 defense. He was 8 of 16, so 50% completion, which certainly is not going to cut it, but his first start. But to Timmy's point, he looks definitely in command of that offense. There's no doubt about it. The first drive was fantastic. Long drive down for a touchdown. 5 of his next 6 series were 3-and-outs. So again, it wasn't all, wow, Sam Darnold, is the lottery ticket, as some are putting it, or to see if he's the lottery ticket. But, I think he's playing well enough to where he's certainly nowhere near a deer in headlights and has enough command to say, okay, let's see what we got here. We feel confident enough in putting him out there, which I do believe. We talked about the 2 teams with the potential of possibly keeping 3 quarterbacks. I'm going to say right now, I don't think either team does. I think when push comes to shove, they'll keep 2 in Baltimore. Lamar Jackson will be the backup. And I think there's no doubt with the Jets, with Sam Bradford starting, that Teddy Bridgewater is going to be that guy that's going to be, free. Yep. Whether they're going to trade him, if they can find a trade partner, or he's going to be free on the market. I think it'll be Sam Bradford starting and then Josh McCown as the backup.
Of course, we feel very strongly that way, that it's going to be Sam Darnold. But what about the guy whose ultimate decision it is to make? Jets head coach Todd Bowles. Well, let's just say he went in coach mode.
He did everything we were asking him to do. He's learning from his mistakes. He's seeing things as he goes. As a rookie quarterback or a rookie position player, period, you're going to get in the games, and no matter what your coach tells you or a veteran tells you, you're going to see things for the first time, and you're going to have to make football decisions. So the more he plays, the quicker the football decisions come. So that's good to see for him.
That's the one part I've always been a believer. If you have a rookie that can play, you think can handle himself out there, I never have a problem playing the rookie. I get so tired of let's wait, especially if he gets hit early, you can lose him. My thought is if you lose a guy mentally early because he gets hit, you shouldn't have taken him anyway. That's just my opinion. I've never had a problem for a team and normally it's a team that isn't looking to have that monster season to start that young quarterback. And I think Darnold, you're ready to start him. I think he's ready. He's learning. I think he's like a sponge soaking it in. He has pretty good, I keep using the term practical application on the field. He's going to make his mistakes. He was a turnover machine last year at USC with 22. I think that was tied for the FBS, either led or tied, one of the two. Fumbles, interceptions and fumbles. So you already see some improvement. You saw him carrying the ball a lot at USC with one hand scrambling around. You see it occasionally here, but more you see two hands on the ball. So that's a progression of learning. And then, the interceptions are going to happen. He's going to be a rookie quarterback, Absolutely. So you're going to see him, and you have to live with them. And, we'll see where it goes. They don't have the greatest weapons in the world on the Jets, so it's going to be a process. But if it's going to be a process and you have a quarterback that's able to handle it, which it seems Sam Darnold is, put him on the field, man. Let's get this thing going. And again, just mute your expectations because he's a rookie.
Yeah.
This is a decade deal at least, you hope.
Yeah, and by the way, the best thing about Todd Bowles we can say that we've seen from him this offseason or this preseason for the Jets, how much healthier he looks. He's lost like 40 pounds, the Jets head coach has. He looks really well.
He does look good.
So good
and
for him.
And he still doesn't say anything in his phone.
No,
but that's fine.
He's nailed that.
Yes, he's got that down.
And that was Straight Talk, brought to you by Straight Talk Wireless, nationwide coverage on America's largest and most dependable 4G LTE networks. Coming up, perhaps the most important thing over the weekend was what you didn't see.
Support for the Golic and Wingo Show podcast comes from our friends at Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans. Let's talk about buying homes for a minute. Because of rising interest rates, there's a lot of unpredictability when it comes to buying a home these days. It's causing a whole lot of anxiety with folks. Well, our friends at Quicken Loans are doing something about it. They're calling it the power buying process, and here's how it works. Quicken Loans will verify your income, assets, and credit in less than 24 hours to give you a verified approval. This gives you the strength of a cash buyer. Then once you're verified, you qualify for their all-new exclusive Rate Shield approval. First, they lock your rate for up to 90 days while you shop. Now here's the best part. If rates go up, your rate stays the same. But if rates go down, your rate also drops. You win either way. It's the kind of thinking you'd expect from America's largest mortgage lender. To get started, go to rocketmortgage.com/Golic. Rate Shield approval only valid on certain 30-year purchase transactions. Additional conditions or exclusions may apply. Based on Quicken Loans data in comparison to public data record. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLSconsumeraccess.org number 3030.
All right, Golic and Wingo with you, ESPN Radio and ESPN2. So again, Kendrys Morales has hit a home run in 7 straight games for the Orioles. That is the franchise record, obviously. Blue Jays, sorry. A little respect. Yeah, sorry about that.
Blue Jays, yes.
My bad.
Yeah. 29 games
so,
over.
B word, whatever. Now, I'm kidding. Stanczyk is a huge Blue Jays fan, and that was just...
That's why I threw in there 29 games over.
There you go.
He's the 7th player in Major League history to have a streak this long. One short of matching the record, which 3 guys have. Don Mattingly, know all about that.
Know all about Donnie.
Ken Griffey Jr.
Know all about the kid.
Dale Long.
What?
So for those of you who are saying, Dale Long, who's Dale Long?
Ladies and gentlemen, we present to you, because he was going to do this even if we didn't ask him to anyway, researcher Brett breaking in with breaking news about Dale Long.
Well, it's not that breaking news because he's been dead for a while.
Yeah, but
rest in peace, Dale.
It's news to our show.
R.I.P. Dale.
Anyway, Dale Long, lefty first baseman from Springfield, Missouri, played for 6 teams.
By the way, in Springfield, it's Missouri.
Missouri.
Yeah. Anything outside of St. Louis, it's Missouri. In St. Louis, it's Missouri. Everywhere else, it's Missouri.
Sorry, Missouri.
Missouri.
Played for 6 teams between 1951 and 1963. His 8-game homer streak was in 1956, which is also his only All-Star appearance. He had a career-high 27 home runs that year.
Okay.
He was a World Series champ with the Yankees in 1962. And your most interesting fact about Dale Long.
This is great.
A lefty first baseman. He played catcher for 2 games in 1958 with the Cubs using a first baseman's mitt.
Now, I have to say, Brett, these are great stats.
Yeah, they are.
How did you find out about the first baseman's mitt stat as a catcher? That is impressive.
A researcher never tells.
See, there you go. Doesn't give up the source.
Doesn't give up the source.
So there you go. Little info on Dale Long.
I like that.
Use that As you will.
Yeah, can you have some movie? Hey, what do you think about this? Hey, but let me tell you about Dale Long.
Yeah, Dale Long.
There you go. And then they can go into a Harry
You
Hooper
know, it'd be
discussion.
great when somebody says, Dale, who's Dale Long? Oh, I know who Dale Long is.
There you go.
8-game hitting streak in 1956. He had 27 home runs that year, made his only All-Star appearance.
And won a World Series with the New York Yankees in 1962.
How great is that?
The other thing in baseball that we haven't really discussed at all is Colorado Rockies.
Yeah.
Colorado Rockies are now just one game out of first place. You know, the Dodgers are obviously falling backwards. The San Francisco Giants are now 8 games back. But Arizona is in first place. Colorado is a game back, and the Dodgers are 2.5 games back. You know, we sort of focused for a lot of reasons on what's going on between the Yankees and the Red Sox this season, because the Yankees are having maybe the greatest second-place season of all time, and the Red Sox, for a while, were on pace. And they still could turn it around, I guess, but they were on pace to set all kinds of records. But that National League West, remember the Dodgers had that horrific start.
Yeah.
And then they came back, and then it looked like they were going to sort of get control of that division. Then they lost their closer.
Right.
And that's been a big problem for them. But to see Arizona and Colorado scrapping it out there, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, right now the Cardinals and the Brewers had that wild card. Colorado then a game back from that. The Phillies 2 game back from that. The Dodgers 2.5 out from that. So even a nice race in the wild card as well.
But the one thing, Mike, that we didn't see this weekend might have been the best thing for everybody.
Yes, it was, and that would be leading with the helmet flags from the NFL in preseason week 1, 25 flags. In preseason week 2, 26 flags, again, for leading with the helmet. The penalty that they were put in, the rule this offseason, the emphasis on the rule, and how many times they called it. There were 9 this weekend.
Yep.
9 in preseason week 3. So we went 25, 26, 9. So already they're starting to come down from that amount.
Yeah, well, we had Mike Pereira, who does a great job with Fox as their NFL rules official, was a former VP of the NFL officiating. And what did he tell us? He said, look, guys, the first few weeks of preseason, we throw out these flags to let everybody know we're doing this. And then as we get back towards the regular season, it'll scale back, and that's exactly what's happening. It did.
One unfortunate one that was called, which I think was wrong, unfortunately, is going to cost Jacksonville. Marquise Lee caught a pass over the middle and took one in the knee, and the defender we'll get to was called for the flag. Shouldn't have been called for the flag, but unfortunately, Marquise Lee hurt his knee.
We will get into that because there's a lot to get in there, and Jalen Ramsey, Marquise Lee's teammate, had a very interesting comment, which should be listen, that needs to be discussed. There's no question about it, and we will do that.
Remember when you couldn't order a ride at the press of a button? Or get online without hearing this? Or get Domino's delivered to over 150,000 unexpected outdoor locations? Wait, what? Introducing Domino's Hotspots. You can finally get pizza delivered right to the beach, the quad, or the dog park. Not at home? Not a problem. Find a Domino's hotspot near you and get 2 medium 2-topping pizzas delivered for $5.99 each. 2-item minimum. Handmade pan pizzas will be extra asked for this limited time offer. Prices, participation, delivery area, and charges may vary. Restrictions apply. Visit Domino's.com for details on Domino's Hotspot.